Hey everybody, it's Master Galengeist here, bringing you my review for Spirits of Vengeance Issue 1, and I really enjoyed this issue. I'm glad that we kind of got a Johnny Blaze kind of back, a story and a comic dealing with him, and all these other players in the Supernatural universe, so I'm really kind of interested to see where they take this. So, this issue starts out, and we just see this kind of like roadside kind of diner place. And we see this guy who's kind of wounded, like, come in. We see Johnny talking with this dude at the establishment, kind of talking about coffee and all that. He's like, hey. And he's like, oh, do I know you? He's like, no, but I know of you. I would have taken this upstairs, but with this kind of thing, kind of takes the wind out of you, sales. And then he drops the bullet on Johnny's plate, and then he tells him to take it to Hellstrom. And that's before he, like, Angel explodes, and Johnny's alright, everybody else is alright. I was like, whoa, what the hell? So Johnny takes it, leaves the cash, and it's kind of funny seeing the kind of people in the diner being like, who do we call about something like this? So as Johnny is trying to leave, these supposed local cops come up, and he's like, nah, you guys aren't local. He's like, well, you got a choice. You either give it to us, or we take it from you. And he's like, oh, you want to talk about, like, paying for it and all that kind of stuff? I know about payments. And then he transforms into the Ghost Rider. And I really like how they did this sequence because it's really kind of different than the usual kind of Ghost Rider you see. It's all kind of like, I would say liquidy kind of, because the guys transform into their demon forms and they're all kind of, I like this artist's take on the demons and the Ghost Rider because it's all kind of elongated and all kind of strange, and then we see him like starting to take them out and uses the Penance Stare and burns them. It's like, holy shit. So of course, then we see him kind of like talking to Damien Hellstrom and trying to get like a beat on this kind of stuff. He's like telling him what kind of demons kind of went for it, and he's like, oh, these are just like gatherers. They don't use these kind of bolts. We kind of have to figure out what this is. So, of course, he's like, okay, I kind of have an associate. I kind of have to figure out what's going on with this. While this is going on, we get into seeing what's going on with the players behind the scene. We see Necrodamus, as he is alluded to, into talking with his associate, and who's Razan. Razan, it's different kind of like pronunciations. I'm going to go with Razan. And they're talking about how they've lost the silver, so they knew that there was a spy in their midst, and they're evidently dealing with probably angels and demons, and are trying to do something, and time is not on their side. So, he needs that silver, or needs to recover it for some unknown purpose, and sets Razan to go after it, so they summon a bloodhound, and she is supposed to go and ferret out any more spies and go after the silver. We then see Damien and Johnny going to this guy's place, Curtis, who's this really obese kind of guy with no eyes. And of course, he's like, what is he going to see? He's like, see, I have this sight beyond. If you've got eyes, you're the blind one. He's like, oh, okay. So, of course, he's looking at it, he's like, I don't know exactly what's going on with this, but it's big. I can feel it. And everybody's talking about how they can feel this thing coming on. And, of course, Damien takes them to his Wall Street friends, and they get into this kind of club, and he's talking with, like, two prominent ones there, talking about how, you know how this happens every 1,000 years or so. Well, this one kind of feels a little bit different. Everybody's kind of, like, gone to hiding places, gone to ground, because, oh, something's coming. And, of course, the one guy's like, well, I'm looking at a place to hide, and the one woman is like, I don't care at this point. Whatever's coming, what's coming. I don't believe there's any place to really hide for this. So they're like, alright, we might not have gotten the information that I was believing we were going to get, but this is bigger than what I thought, so let me call an associate and see what's going on. We then cut to a scene where we see this, like, heist going on, and it's for blood. It's like, oh, okay. And we see that it's Blade that Damien is calling, and Blade just takes out these guys expertly and awesomely, and he just leaves the message like, I want you to help me avert, like, the utter destruction and apocalypse. So, yeah, call me when you have a chance. It's like, oh, dude, I haven't really read any kind of, like, Blade or Damien Hellstrom in comics, so it's really kind of cool to see these here. I've seen the Blade movies, and it's not for lack of like not liking Blade. It's just it's usually kind of like hard for Blade to have a good run, or for Marvel to let him have a good run. And it's kind of cool to have all these kind of mystical, supernatural people getting like gathered together. So I'm really kind of looking forward to seeing like good old Johnny Blaze and just like having to get this team together, figure out what's going on, who would assassinate an angel, what did he find out, and what's all going on, and what can they do to stop it. And it's supernatural kind of Avengers kind of thing, and I really like how they're starting this off. And the art, at first I was like, okay, I've kind of seen this kind of art style before when dealing with like supernatural elements, trying to make that kind of weird and unnatural kind of like either elongated look or kind of like squat, smushed, kind of like obese look that like we saw with like Curtis and Angus to kind of demonstrate how they don't look quite right if you look at them. And I really want to see action scenes that are dealt more in the style of like what they're going to do with the Ghost Rider and what they do with like Blade, because I really like those two action scenes in this. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.